And tomorrow after the breakfast news, there's a chance to see John Major's first Prime Minister's Question Time. That's in Westminster tomorrow morning at 8:15.
This Tuesday, in an exclusive interview, ex-President of the United States, Ronald Reagan, talks to Clive James.
I came home to Nancy and I said to her, what I'm finding out at the end of the speech is they want me to be the candidate. And finally I gave in. And then it dawned on me one day that if I won, I wasn't in pictures anymore.
Clive James meets Ronald Reagan, Tuesday, 9:30 on BBC1.
Now on BBC2, Sarah Dunant presents The Late Show.
On The Late Show tonight, Tuesday the 27th of November, College Green, Westminster, a not quite everyday story of political folk and the media. And in the studio, these three people, Derek Jarman, Jackie Stephen, Maggie Hambling, bring us their pick of November. Good evening. November was the month when, no doubt about it, art was eclipsed by politics. No sooner had we devoted a whole programme to interviewing the Minister of the Arts than he
condition was serious before he actually found out that he did have cancer?
No, none at all, because the doctor knew Greg well, and he knew him as a very fit fellow, you know, and he'd been working in the Sudan, and he thought it was probably just something he'd caught over there, you know.
Greg died the following May. Standard Life refused to pay out, as Greg hadn't told them he'd been to the doctor before the policy went on risk.
And soften the arms as well. Prepare. Ready?
Sue was left to pay her mortgage and support a young family. Her show business background as one of the Case sisters came to her rescue. She now scrapes a living by teaching ballet.
I was a trained dancer, and it's come in very handy because I teach the little ones. I love doing it, actually, and we have a really nice time. But it's pretty hard work.
Did you not think that you ought to tell Standard Life that Greg had been for tests?
Not at all, because in our view there was nothing really to tell, you know, and we weren't sure that we had to tell of anything as minor as that, you know.
The family's GP, Stephen Jeffries, agrees. In a letter sent to Standard Life, he said,
Mr. Stevens simply thought that he had a cough related to an uncomplicated respiratory infection, and if I had been in his position at that time, I myself would not have thought it relevant to mention to an insurance company.
The Stevens case went here for the insurance ombudsman. They lost for not disclosing a material fact, Greg's GP visit and x-rays. The Murray case is still awaiting the ombudsman's decision.
There are two sides to every argument, and I think it's understandable that insurance companies should be suspicious of people who die shortly after they go on risk from something of which symptoms were being shown before the risk was taken on. They then get, of course, the argument that these symptoms appeared to be routine. They are entitled to be suspicious about that and inquire about it. Generalising, I would say that if the policyholder had some symptom, went to a doctor, and the doctor told him it's nothing, it's just a minor ailment, then he would be reasonable not to disclose it.
As for rules and regulations, insurance companies and the Ombudsman are advised by the Association of British Insurers Code of Practice. It states that insurers should not ask questions which we, the public, can't be expected to have the knowledge to answer. Now, in the two cases we've looked at, the families argue that Ron and Greg would have needed expert medical knowledge in order to realise that their condition was even serious, let alone terminal. And it was reasonable at that time for them to believe that their symptoms were completely routine.
Okay, now just glance at the hand as it's coming down.
Just before my husband died, he said he would die in the knowledge of us being secure, you know, financially, myself and the 4 children. And it's come as a bitter blow, really.
I'm just getting deeper and deeper into debt. I have got to try to sell the house. I've dropped it by £10,000 now, and I can't really drop it any further. So I really don't know what the outcome will be.
Sue, what does the Standard Life say about all this?
Well, they've refused to discuss either of these cases with us individually, but they gave us this statement. Now, in it they say that they pay claims on death to more than 10,000 policyholders each year. They say that there are a few disputes that arise, but when they do have give policyholders the benefit of the doubt, they say. But they also say that it would be unfair to their existing policyholders to pay Sue and Maureen. But you'd think, wouldn't you, that many of their 2 million policyholders would be pleased to see these women paid. After all, between them, it would only cost £88,000, and Standard Life has £17.8 billion worth of assets in its life funds.
So what's our advice to people watching this programme? How do they avoid landing themselves in the same situation as Maureen and Sue?
Well, firstly, be acutely aware that this period between when an insurance company accepts your insurance and when they actually put you on risk is absolutely vital. If you are planning to go to your doctor during that period, be very careful. Tell your insurance company about any visit to your doctor, however routine, or any change to your health, however minor you may think it is. We really don't want other people caught out over a technicality like this again.
Sue, thank you very much indeed.
You can't have failed to notice that turtle mania is sweeping the country. Everywhere's awash with turtle merchandise, from hero braces to turtle advent calendars. 9